Okay, all right. So here we go. Here's another video for homework number 57. Now, tonight you're doing Common Core Task 1. So you might be wondering why last night was Common Core Task 2 and then we're going back to 1, because 1 is actually the harder one, okay? You might think it's easy when you do it, and if you think it's really easy, then chances are you might have made a mistake. So let's do this. All right. Now, let's see, let me read this question. Okay, once printed photograph, too small. Okay, the photograph is 4 by 6. Okay, all right. So fair enough. Now for number 1, I'm gonna draw this picture first. Okay, now it's not gonna be a very accurate picture. So I'm gonna draw this like that, like that. And then, so that's 6 inches, and this one's 4. Now, right here, it's gonna ask you 2 question marks, right? And so, okay, all right, by the way, note, the diagrams are not drawn to scale, so don't, right off the bat, it's telling you don't assume the shapes, okay? Don't assume the shape until you can prove it. Now, it is true that these 2 pictures that are of the same size can fit into, when put together, is the length of the larger picture. So that itself tells you that these 2 are 3 inches, okay? Now that's not an assumption, okay? That's proof, actually. So, okay, now, let's see. So we're gonna do this first. So here, you're gonna realize that there are 3 figures here, and this larger one is similar to one of the smaller ones. Okay, each of the smaller ones, actually. So, in other words, 6/4, what's happening? Did I scroll down by accident? Okay, so 6/4 is equal to 3/x, this little guy here. So that's a similar figure question. Okay, so you cross multiply and divide. That's 2. Okay, now they want to know how long this, so that's 2. And that's actually good because 4 plus 2 is 6. So this is a square figure overall, right? Because 4 plus 2 is the 6. So it's a 6 by 6 picture. Okay, now, number 2. Oh, really what I meant is diagram B. Now you got to be careful, because let me draw the original figure. And it looks something like this. And people make this mistake all the time. Now, back in the day when we give this as a test, people regularly get like 75s on this or lower. Okay, so you gotta be careful here. So that's 6. Now this is 4. Here's what most people make the mistake. Now, they would be right if they assume that these 2, the width of the 2 smaller pictures is 3 each. They'd be right. But here's what everyone, not everyone, a lot of people made a mistake, is that they think this is 4. No, that's not 4. I mean, you could actually tell like that one is slightly longer. So what you need to do is you actually need to rotate the shape. So you need to have this one in its original orientation. Let's just put it that way, right? It's facing vertical. This one you need to redraw. It's actually a slightly tinier version of the original one. So that's 3 once you rotate, right? So once you rotate like this, what is that? Rotate clockwise 90 degrees. Think about it like that. All right, so now you're left with this. So that's actually the proportion you have to solve. So this is, so let's do it like this. We could do 6/x. I mean, it doesn't matter. You can do 6/4. I'll do 4. All right, so 6/4 equals to x/3. Now, once you do that, let's see what you get. I just double checking. So 18 divided by 4, right? Yeah, 4.5. Okay. Now, even though it says it's not drawn to scale, Meaning, if you take a ruler and measure it, it won't work. By the way, some people try to do that before. All right, they try to measure. They try to measure the actual shape, which is not the point because they said it's not drawn to scale. You see that this side, which is 4.5, is slightly longer than the 4, which really makes sense. Now, what's the dimension of the first one? So the first one's 6 by 6, so I'm looking at number 2 down there. And the second guy is, what is that? 6 by 8.5, okay? Now, do they want, yeah, they want scale factor. So the first scale factor is what, 6 to 3, 4 to 2, so it's 1/2, right? If we go from left to right or larger to smaller. So the scale factor for the first one is 0.5 or a half. Now the scale factor for the second one is slightly tricky. You have to go from 6 to 4.5 or 4 to 3. Either way, it doesn't matter. Now I'll double check. So 6 divided by 4.5. Actually, it's the opposite because it's shrinking actually. So it's got to be the other way. Okay, if you know what I mean. Because if I do 4 over 3, it's 1.3 repeating. But that's not, we're shrinking the shape, right? So the scale factor has to be less than 1, right? Think about the recipe problems we did earlier in the year. So it's 3 over 4 or a 4.5 over 6. Either way, the scale factor is 0.75. It got shrunk, okay? So 0.75. Okay, all right. I think that explains everything that the question is asking for. So hopefully you got everything right, and you know, yeah. Okay, all right. Thanks for watching. Have a good day.
OMG, that was so good.